Alright, today we're going to be using Cisco Packet Tracer, which is a fairly good simulation tool for configuring Cisco routers and switches and developing networking skills. So first we're going to start with configuring our router. So you go to the command line interface. At this prompt it says continue with configuration dialog. You don't want to do that, that's just basic setup. So I click no, and then get ready to start. And this will bring you into your user mode. So you want to click, first thing you want to do is type in enable, and that will bring you to your privilege mode. And then this will allow you to do all your show commands, like show run, which is it's showing your running configuration. Right now my host name for my router is just router, and there's nothing else actually configured on this fast Ethernet one. There's no IP to duplex isn't set up in speed, and it's in the shutdown mode. Same with the other interfaces. Your line con 0 is your console port, which you would put a console cable into to access the command line interface, and your VTY lines are what you would use to Telnet or SSH into. So first thing we want to do is make sure that our routers are secure. So we want to enter some passwords onto it. So we want to go into our global configuration mode by typing configuration terminal, enter, and that will bring us into our global configuration mode. From here we could enter an enable password. You just type in enable and password for this and then your password, which I'm using Cisco. And then from there I will go back and see in the show run to make sure that that password actually was approved. So I will type exit, and then I'll go show run, which is my running configuration, and right here you see that the enable password is there, Cisco, which isn't good because that's in plain text and anybody could see that. So we're going to want to encrypt it. How you do that, you go back to your global configuration mode by config terminal, whoops, and then you go enable secret, and then your password, which is Cisco. Back to the show run, and you see that the enable secret, which is encrypted in MD5 hash, is right there. But this password is still showing and it's visible. You never want these two passwords the same anyway, but they are both Cisco for right now. So we don't want that visible, so we got to take that away. So what we do is go into our global configuration mode, and then we type service password encryption. And in our show run, now we see that it's encrypted. The next thing we want to do is be able to access our VTY lines, or to be able to have Telnet sessions. So we go into our configuration mode and then go line VTY 0 to 4. From here we want to set a password to password, and then your password, so Cisco. And then to be able to actually log in, you have to put the login command. And our next password we want to put on is our line for our console port. So you go line con 0, and that will get you into that line, and then password, Cisco, and then log in. Okay, so from here we will see that from the show run that we have all those passwords up. There's the enable passwords. You only need one enable password, and there will be the encrypted one. If you only have the one enable password, it will be that one. So now we see that we have passwords on both of our lines, which is good. So next thing we want to do, we always want to put different host names, meaningful host names to our routers. So we would go into our global config mode again, and just simply type host name and whatever we want our host name to be. So I'm going to say Toronto because that's where I live close to. There we go. Now you see that it's been configured to Toronto. So next thing we really want to do is, for this diagram anyway, right now we see that we just have 3 routers. This one's the Toronto router. We want to eventually have them all configured, but for now we want to get these links up. So what we do to get it, and these links need IP addresses. This is my DCEN, and that will also need a clock rate so that it will be able to provide timing for both of these routers. So for this interface, which is our interface serial 0/0, to get into that, you just simply type interface in the global config mode, serial 0/0. Okay, now we're into our interface configuration. We're going to want to put an IP address. For this IP address, you just put IP space address, address, and then whatever your IP address is. So right now mine will be 192.168.1.2. And for this, for all your point-to-point links or your serial links, you're going to want a subnet mask because you want to use as least amount of IP addresses as you can. So it will be 255.255.255.252, which will allow me to have 4 IP addresses on that. So now that is entered into the interface. Now to make it up and running, we go no shutdown, which allows the serial port to change to up. It's going to say it's changed to down right now because the other side isn't up. Also with this, we could change how it's encapsulated through our WAN. So you could go encapsulation, and then you press the exclamation or the question mark, and it will show which. This isn't the full version of the iOS, so we're only allowed to do HDLC or point-to-point or frame relay. Sorry. What comes default is HDLC, and we're going to leave it to that.